Hey everybody, and welcome back to Your Valorant. My name is Matt, and it's a pleasure to be back with you guys on the channel today. So in this video, we're going to be showing you guys 5 pro defense tips for Haven, which is really a very difficult map to sort of navigate, obviously, with the 3 bomb sites, which is definitely new to these sort of CSGO style game. And I think that these tips we came up with in this video are really sort of out there. They're definitely more unique, and I really do think these are things you guys haven't seen before. So with that being said, I hope you guys do enjoy the video. Let us know down below in the comments which of these are your favorites. And yeah, let's get right into it. Alright everyone, so starting off with our first tip for today, I'm going to be showing you guys 2 really strong jump spots up here that are only available with Jett, unfortunately, which is kind of a shame, but as you guys can see, my friend's over here are about to run in, and what's important here that I think we should mention is obviously, again, Jett is the only one able to do this. We do have unlimited jumps here in our private match, but normally you would only have about 2 of these, but essentially what you're aiming for is either the top of this box or the top of this box. We're going to utilize a couple of these positions in order to sort of limit the vantage points that the people running in have on us. So what's the most important thing to know? Well, the most important thing to know is that this bomb site is essentially over here. The chances that someone plants from the back, from this section, is very unlikely, because that's quite the run. They would have to sort of, be stealthy and get in from back there. It is possible, and this position up here definitely gives you that option, but what this really does is give you the chance to sort of surprise whoever's coming from this way before they even probably can see you. I mean, you get such a nice look all the way in the back at even just the tips of their toes running in, so this is really a fantastic position for that, as well as whoever's coming from this direction. Because remember, anybody that's in this spot can't do anything. The area for the bomb plant is closer to over here. So what you want to do is look at whoever's coming from this direction and cut them off, as well as anybody coming from this spot. Now, an alternative, let's say you change your mind and want to use your second jump, is you can get on top of this box. But standing in the middle seems a bit hazardous, because someone from over here could shoot you, and someone from the left side could. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut off this point. By doing that, we stand exactly in the back here. We stay crouched, and this limits people shooting us from there. Now, of course, they could run in, but the chances of them being in the very, very far back, where their footsteps wouldn't be audible, the chances of them being in the very back and just picking you off is much less likely. As you guys can see, they can't see me, I can't see them. It's only when I sort of move in that I could see my friend over there, and that makes this spot so strong, because it gives me the opportunity to peek down here. And obviously, that's probably going to be the largest, amount of my time that I'm going to be spending is shooting people rushing from this direction. But it also gives me the chance, again, as I mentioned, to get a little bit of a head start, just to make sure nobody's coming in from the very back of this section and trying to sort of double team whoever's over here. Alright everybody, so for the second tip, we want to show you guys what we've sort of dubbed the twin box strategy. What this does is sort of limits your enemy's point of view on you, as well as sort of keeps every single selection covered, every tunnel, every hallway covered very well. So what this does, essentially, is utilizes this back room. Now, right off the bat, you guys can tell, this room is not commonly used, because most people don't really seem to think it has much of a purpose. But in fact, this is the most important spot in the entire A site for defense, because what this allows you to do is not be an obvious target like someone up top there, or someone perhaps just standing out in the middle here aimlessly. What this does is it blocks off your right completely, for one, so anybody planning a sneak attack would not be able to come and sneak attack you from here, rather would get gobbled up by whoever's standing in that corner, or the twin opposing corner. It also sort of limits anybody from behind you, obviously, but most importantly, limits your exposure to anybody in front of you. So what you're going to use is this small box, and what you're essentially able to do is pick and choose exactly how much of yourself you want to expose, and how much of the enemies you want to have exposed to you. So this is just a phenomenal opportunity, but as for those that might not remember, if I go forward here, you guys can see that the enemy team is coming from the left. They're coming from this side. So the chances that an enemy is able to get to this corner and peek on you is very unlikely, at least without you noticing them. So again, going back to our spot here, as you guys can see, anybody coming from the left, or, their left, our right in this situation, you're able to get a very nice look on, because you can see the furthest right that they may run to. So you can see this spot, this spot, this spot, this spot, this spot. You're able to get a look on that before they're able to run there, which is just phenomenal. Now, this works fantastically in conjunction with your friend who may be in the corner here, because what they're able to do is get a fantastic peek on anybody from this direction, which is just perfect, because you're sort of covering the spots that I, in that other location, in this back room, am missing. So you're able to cover that spot, as well as making sure that nobody from this angle is sneaking up on me, which again is unlikely, but it's possible that someone could be stealthy and sort of approach it that way. And again, I'm keeping this main walkway covered, so you're basically immune. So using these two sort of corners in conjunction is really helpful. Again, they work together. It's great if you're playing with a buddy, and it essentially locks the entire ace site to your benefit, which I think is just phenomenal. Moving on to our third tip, guys, I want to show you guys what I've referred to as the double arrow strategy. Now, what makes this fantastic is it allows you as a solo player to essentially control all of B, which I think is very important because this map here, again, having 3 bomb sites, you're going to need some solo support. You need some solo playing going on here because you can't distribute 5 people equally across 3 sites. So what I would advise to do is to utilize these double arrows and only these double arrows, only this spot, because what this allows you to do as a solo player is take complete control over the entire situation. So my friend's going to run in here from this one spot. He's going to run in from where you would normally have a good vantage point on. So as you guys can see, I have a complete look on him. I can use this box as cover, you know, take a couple nice shots. But let's say someone else was running in from this side. Using these double arrows, I'm also able to get a very nice position on them coming from here. Now, why is this the only spot in this room? Well, I think the obvious, sort of thought would be to use this box, or perhaps some of these other boxes if you're a Jett, and that's not a horrible idea. If you want to be a supporting teammate, I think it's fine, but what you're missing out on, essentially, is one of the 2 windows, because if you look through this, you can't obviously see this door, you can only see the one that's next to you. If you're the other box over here, let's say you're going for these double boxes as Jett, you can only look at this door, and it sort of takes a little while to switch to the other one. And the most obvious fact is that only a Jett can do this. So the most important strategy, and I think really the most obvious one, is utilizing these 2 arrows in only this spot, because what this allows you to do, essentially, is look at 2 people coming from 2 different directions. So again, I want my friend to run here from that door again, and as you guys can see, if he goes from this door, I have a perfect look on him. Before, anybody essentially could do anything, I'm able to turn and look at someone else coming from the left door. So this gives me, in literally a quarter of a second, the chance to peek 2 angles at once. And again, using this big crate, this big sort of box thing as cover, I can look at this side, the right side, without the left having any effect on me, or looking at the left without the right having any effect on me. So that is the double arrow strategy. I really think this will hopefully become popularized because this seems to be the objective best way to sort of look at this room. Alright, so moving on to C here for our 4th tip of the video, guys. I wanted to show you all a very nice angle, sort of the electrical cable, if you will, angle, because this is fantastic, as you guys can see, for snipers. And what this really works great at is sort of using this cable, or whatever the hell it is. I think it's an electrical cable. Using this sort of area here as a perfect vantage point on 2 different angles. In fact, the only 2 angles on C. Now, again, for a whole video, guys, we've been essentially trying to prep you to be a solo at these spots, especially on this map. Again, Haven, with 3 different bomb sites, it makes it very, very difficult to sort of, as a team, find a way on defense to, sort of manage a group on one spot. Because, again, there's always going to be that one guy who's at the bomb site that is alone. So what I'm aiming for you guys to do is be able to use these positions as a solo. So what makes this spot fantastic, and again, you can either do it from here or this little head glitch. This does have a slight advantage as it, sort of gives you a little bit of a better visibility on the left, but again, it also does make you a bit more exposed, so it's really however you want to think of it, but all you want to really focus on is knowing this spot, this little triangle here, and if you stay there, you get a perfect view of the left and a perfect view of anybody coming from this direction. Again, you could use this as cover, pretty fantastic cover, in fact, and again, if you happen to be here with a teammate, I would probably place them in this corner, because anybody coming from that direction is going to have a tiny bit of the right that I cannot see from here. As you guys can tell, I'm missing a tiny bit of the right, which is practically the only flaw with this sort of plan here. But again, if you have a teammate here who looks in this corner, they'll make sure that's locked down. Most importantly, I'll be able to lock down long over here. So that's definitely the most important spot, and a fantastic way to optimize C. Alright everybody, so for our 5th and final tip of the video, and perhaps the most important tip, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about what defense can do with mid here, because unfortunately, defense seems to be, from what we could tell, at a disadvantage here with mid, and I'll explain that in a few ways. So, first off, they're going to get into some type of conflict from this window. Ideally, you're sort of at an equal positioning here, it's nothing crazy, but what you're also at a big disadvantage with is the side over here, because your ability to walk into this room starts from over here, there's a blockade over here, and And then there's also a blockade from up here. You're not able to get past this window. Now, why is this essentially a problem? Well, what this prevents you from doing is having a fair fight with the guy who's already at this barricade, because the attacker's barricade is right here. So anybody that's on attack can instantly walk out and instantly have a very nice vantage point on you. So what can you do to combat this? Well, essentially what we think of doing is using any character's abilities, whether that be, Jet's Smoke, Viper's Poison, Phoenix's Flash. There's tons of different abilities you guys can use to essentially clog up this conflict that you would probably be experiencing with this window, as well as if you're coming from this side, one of the most important things I think you could do is using some type of smoke, perhaps right in front of you over here, or even on the wall if you want a little bit. Whatever you really want to do, it really doesn't matter, as long as you find some way to give yourself a bit of leeway with the guy that's coming out of here. So again, think someone's coming out from that direction. Then again, we walk through, we have our smoke ready in place. I threw it a little late there, but we have our smoke ready in place. This allows us to get, either behind this box or somewhere else to where we have a bit of a more fair fight. With that being said, everybody, I hope you all have enjoyed the video. Let us know again down below in the comments which of these tips were you guys' favorite. What did you overall think of our ability to analyze? I definitely would love to know down below in the comments, because this is definitely the first of these types of videos for us, but we will have a lot more like this up on the channel in the very near future, because we had a lot of fun making this. So that being said, everybody, I hope you all have enjoyed. Drop a like, subscribe if you all are new, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.